10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Crap!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing today? It has been a couple weeks since I've done a live show. I know people are mad at me. I'm getting shitty comments on Discord. What's going on, man? Why no more live chats? I apologize profusely. But I wanted to come back, have a little fun with you guys, and talk about prepper guns tonight. Tonight's going to be a prepper gun special. You guys okay with that? I mean, we'll talk a little bit first, and then we'll get into it. And we'll go from there. But is my camera angle okay? I broke my monitor. Okay, so here's what happened. I broke one of my monitors. I broke my big monitor. So I have two monitors on my desk, and I have one 32-inch monitor and one smaller, like 19-inch monitor. I've talked about this before. And I have a light that's up here that fell and hit my monitor, and just the big one, the 32-inch curved screen Samsung monitor, hit the fucking big one and just like a 2-inch just broken spot all the way down the left side of the monitor. Just fucked it up. I was pissed. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to replace it. And I paid, it wasn't a ridiculously expensive monitor. You know, it's not like the highest end Samsung monitor or anything, right? It was like, I don't know, $250, $300 when I bought it. I don't know, 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Whenever I bought that monitor, it's like, fuck, I'm going to go buy another one. So I just looked up the model that I had for the current year, right? Turns out Walmart had them on sale for $149.99 for a Christmas sale. So this monitor that I had paid $250, $300 for, I don't remember exactly how much I paid. Let's say $250, was now on sale for $150. So I was like, well, I mean, I was expecting to spend $250. This is how my brain worked when I'm thinking how I'm going to explain this to my wife, right? Well, I mean, it was a $250 monitor. Now it's a $150 monitor. So if I buy two of them, I'm only spending $300 for two 32-inch curved, you know, good Samsung monitors, instead of at $250 a piece, right? That would normally cost me $500. So I'm actually saving $200 by buying two of them. She bought it. It was cool. She was like, yeah, you're right. That's a good deal. Okay. She totally fucking bought it. But it's true. Anyway, so I bought two new monitors. So my camera is not in exactly the same place that it used to be. So, but you know how that goes. Is my audio washed out? I wonder if my audio is on the right. It was on the last one. Let me check. Line, default line should be good. I don't know how this fucking thing. Yeah, the audio should be good, but anyway, I just want to make sure the camera's in the right position because I've got different monitors set up on my desk now. Anyway, what's up, guys? What's up, Dino? Old Silverloin. We got Vulcan Rumble out there. We got Cine UK, Old Man Butt Wrinkles, Tomcat, Two Live Moo, Lead on Steel. Very nice. Lead on Steel says Walmart had a sale on a 75-inch Vizio, scored one for $225. Dude, that's fucking awesome. The one that me and my wife have in our bedroom, that's where we put the big TV, because that's where we watch movies and shit. is a 75-inch. I don't remember what brand it is, though. But, of course, we've had it for a few years. It's a really nice TV. But I think we paid like $600 for it. But now all these 75-inch TVs are on sale for like $400 or less. So, yeah. Old Silverloin says that's called wife math. So, yeah, she can relate. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, look, by buying another monitor, I actually saved even more money. Saved $200. Come on. Plus, when am I going to find two nice Samsung curved screen 32-inch monitors for $150? Like, it's just, I'm not going to find that. So, anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about here. So, anyway, let's jump right in, shall we? You guys see what we've got here. I want to talk about prepper guns, and I want you guys' input on this. Okay, so we're going to be seeing what you guys have to say about it, because I kind of want to know. So I've got 19 guns here listed out that I think are, and I'm sure I missed some, and I'm sure you guys out there are going to be like, you forgot this or you forgot that or whatever. These are the 19 guns that I thought of that I was like, okay, these are like probably the most common guns that you would want as a prepper gun. Now, some of these, I understand, may be more or less like a specific gun, and some of these are just representative of a type of gun. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, I could not literally put every kind of gun on here. Okay? For instance, like for your standard semi-auto handguns, as representation here, I've got the Glock 17, the Glock 19, and the Glock 26, right? That's just kind of representative of, in general, you know, your three different sized semi-automatic handguns. So same thing. And then same thing like with bolt action rifle. I don't have, when we talk about that one, we won't be talking about a specific bolt action rifle. We're talking, you know, kind of in general. But then some of these are specific. Maybe not to the brand, but maybe to the caliber. Like I've got a .357 Magnum revolver on here. Now, what I've got representing it is a Smith & Wesson, but it could be any .357. So some are more specific than others, but these are kind of in general. The 19 guns I thought would make the most sense that you would want to rank as far as whether or not, yes, this is a must-have prepper gun, or it's okay, or hell no, or whatever. And I'm using the same standard I always use whenever I do a ranking. Must-have, great, solid, meh, and shit, or poo in this case, because this is online and on this tier maker website, and other people might use this, and so I don't want to put curse words on here. Anyway, but shit. In other words, no, hell no. Meh is, yeah, everybody knows meh. It's like, I mean, I guess, if you like it. Solid just means it's pretty much something that we could all, it may not be your personal choice, but you could understand why it would be somebody else's choice. Great means it's a great gun. Maybe it's not absolutely must-have top tier, but it's a fantastic gun, and certainly in the running for a quote-unquote must-have gun. And then, of course, must-have is like, yes, no, you absolutely need that. As a prepper, you should have that gun. So we all kind of see what we're saying here, right? Everybody gets it? Everybody knows. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing here. So the guns we have here, and I'll tell you whether it's specific or just representative of something else. So we start out here with a Ruger 1022. Now that I would say is representative of just a good semi-automatic 22 rifle. But I would say that the Ruger 1022 is probably the best semi-automatic 22 rifle. So it could be both representative of semi-auto 22s in general, or it can be specific to that. We've got the Browning Buckmark, which this, again, just representative of a good semi-automatic 22. This one is, I forget which one this one is, but this is basically a 22 revolver. We've got a, this one is the 30-30 lever action. Now that is specific to caliber 30-30, 357 revolver, 45-70 lever action, AK pistol, AK rifle, AR pistol, AR rifle, bolt action. Now this is representative of any bolt action in whatever caliber you so desire, 30-30, 30-06, 270, 308, whatever it is, but a good bolt action rifle. We've got a cap and ball revolver, which I know for a lot of preppers is kind of a favorite. Deagle, a Deagle. And why did I put a Deagle on here? Was I being serious? Not really. No, I was not being serious with the Deagle. However, you'd be surprised in 15 years of making videos on YouTube, how many times I've heard people say, as a prepper, they want a Deagle in their collection. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely, positively no sense to me. But we're going to discuss it nonetheless. Then, of course, we got the Glock 17, representative of, full-size handguns. Glock 19, representative of compact handguns. Glock 26, representative for subcompact handguns. Then, of course, we've got the Remington 870, a muzzleloader rifle, and the Mossberg 500. Now, the Remington 870 and the Mossberg 500 are specific. Those are, in my opinion, I've said this for years, shouldn't be anything that you guys don't already know about me. Those are the two best choices for a prepper shotgun, hands down, across the board. It's either a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500. Yes, there are many other shotguns that you can get, many other pump actions, and semi-auto shotguns are also great, by and large. But when it comes to a shotgun, the two most reliable, just, affordable, easy to get a hold of, common, simple, easy to use shotguns on the face of the planet are those two shotguns right there. So with those two, we're going to be very specific to those particular two brands. So is everybody ready to go through this? I want to see your comments, okay, as we go through these, because I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion, but I'm also going to take your opinions into consideration, okay? So first up, we're going to start with the Ruger 1022. Now, here's what I want to see in the comment section, okay? We have 5 categories here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in that order. Number 1 means it is a must-have. Number 2 means it is great. 3 is solid. 4 is meh. 5 is absolute poo. Absolute poo. So, whether you are grading this on it being specifically a Ruger 1022, or you're just grading it on, in general, it is representative of a 22 caliber semi-automatic rifle, I want you guys to throw it in there in the chat which place you think it belongs here. For me, I think it is a must-have. Now that's my personal preference, but if you guys go a different way with it, we'll see what we can work out with here and try and come up with a good ranking for this one. I think a good 22 rifle is a must-have as a prepper. Personally, for me, maybe it's not going to be your go-to defensive weapon or hunting weapon, but for small game, for finding yourself in a situation where you don't know what exactly you're going to run into, but you're not too worried about large game or a huge human threat, being able to carry a lot of rounds on you is, to me, essential, and it's lightweight, and you can lay a lot of rounds on a target very, very quickly, very, very accurately, within good distances, both for small game and for defending yourself. I'm not saying it's the ultimate defensive weapon. I'm not Duke. Duke has said that before, and I think he's wrong on that. However, with those 25 round magazines that you can slap in a Ruger 10/22, I'm just saying you can unload 25 rounds into somebody's center mass real quick with one of those. They're going to go down. In fact, it's not even going to take that many. You probably hit several people with one of those mags and be fine if you did need to use it for defense. It's not optimal, but I think it's a must-have because it's a very versatile firearm. So far, guys, all I'm seeing is that it's a must-have. All right? That's all I'm seeing so far. So far, everybody agrees. Ruger 10/22, or just a good semi-auto 22 rifle in general, is a must-have as a prepper. All right, so now let's talk about our 22 semi-automatic handgun. Now, I've got Browning Buckmark is what I've got represented here, but it could be any variety of just a good. I would say I would lean definitely more towards a target style 22, whether it's a Ruger, a Smith & Wesson, a Browning, whatever it is. Something that's going to give you a little more accuracy. Yes, there are plenty of 22 handguns out there on the market. I'd lean more towards one of those, just for, again, range, accuracy. Could you use a Browning Buckmark to fucking hunt with, small game, squirrels, stuff like that? Yeah, you absolutely could. Obviously, the distance isn't going to be the same as with the rifle. That being said, I would say it is not a must-have. Personally, for me, I would also say it's not great. I would say, for me, it's solid. For me, third place, it is not a must-have, and it's not even great. But I want to hear what you guys say. So far we've got Old Man Buntwrinkles says great. X-Item1 says solid. Dino says 1. Tomcat says solid. Muffin Top's like meh. Buntwrinkles says solid. Old Silverloin says solid. So I think most of y'all are agreeing with me that it's solid. It's definitely not a must-have, and it's not great. Some people may think it's great, and I understand that completely. But it's certainly not dog shit or meh. It's a solid choice, I think. My personal opinion, solid choice. And I think that's the consensus in the chat. So, because we've got X-Item1 says solid, Tomcat says solid, Old Man Buttwrinkle says solid, Old Silverloin says solid. So we'll go with solid. That gets the most votes, including mine. So I think we'll go with that. And now we've got a 22 revolver. Now, this one's kind of tough for me. There's a lot of good 22 revolvers out there on the market. I'm a huge fan of the Heritage Rough Rider because it's cheap, and I've owned 3 of them, and they're great guns. I've never had a problem with one. But also, Ruger makes the single 6, and there's a bunch of good ones. I don't know. I'm gonna look for you guys' opinions on this. Certainly, from a reliability standpoint, I think there's an argument to be made that a revolver is more reliable than a semi-auto, so maybe it should be slightly higher on the list than the semi-auto 22. But there's a lot less you can do with it. Less capacity. It's not as convenient. As a prepper gun is... This is where I'm coming from, is I'm first trying to compare... I want to compare the revolver to the semi-auto first, and then work from there. As a prepper gun, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I understand all the arguments, and if Yankee was here, he'd be yelling and screaming and cussing me out. But even as a prepper gun, I'd rather have the semi-auto over the revolver. And the semi-auto only made solid for me. Now, I could be fair and put them in the same category, which is probably the fairest thing to do here, and say they're both solid options. It's really just preference. You know what I mean? That's probably the fairest thing to do. I like the semi-auto better. I think with the way semi-autos are nowadays, whether, again, it's the Buckmark or the Ruger or whatever, right? I think they're really reliable. I'm leaning towards solid just for the sake of fairness, but honestly, my real opinion is meh. It's a 4. So I'm going to let you guys kind of lean me which way. Are we thinking solid, just like the semi-auto, or are we thinking meh? So let's see what we got out there. We got Dr. Muffin Top says 3. Old Man Buttwrinkle says 4. Adam says 4. Tomcat says 4. Mr. Scary says 3. Buttwrinkles, you already voted. Dino says 4. Let's see. Silverloin says 4. Rudy says 4. We're going 4. We're going meh. Honestly, I do agree. I don't know. It just and I love, as I've said, I love my Heritage Rough Rider. It's a fantastic gun. But like shit hits the fan, is that the gun I'm going to carry? If I had to choose between my Heritage Rough Rider or even a Ruger single 6 and a Browning Buckmark, I'm going to take the Browning Buckmark. Like just hands down, I'm going to grab the Browning Buckmark. If I can only grab 122, that's the one I'm going to grab. So, yeah. All right, so now we got the lever action 30-30. My preference is the Marlin 30-30, Marlin 336 and 30-30. That's my personal preference. That's the one I have. That's my favorite lever action 30-30. Phenomenal hunting rifle. Will take most things you need to take. Also, 30-30 lever action, very tactically sound. Very tactically sound. For something that's, not semi-auto, that's not magazine fed, there's a lot of advantages to that gun, even in a defensive situation. And I love it for hunting. However, I can't say it's a must-have. I do lean towards great on lever action 30-30s. I'm leaning towards great, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What are we thinking here? Let's see. Old Man Buttwrinkle says 2. Muffin Top says 4. Dino says 5. Rudy says 2. Silverloin says 2. 2 Live Moo says 2. Tomcat says 1. Adam says 2. Scary says 2. I think we all agree. 2. It's great. It's not a must-have, but it's definitely great. The biggest drawback, honestly, for 30-30 for me is just the ammo itself. It's kind of expensive to stock up on, but then again, so is most rifle ammo. But yeah, I'm comfortable with great. You guys good with great? Are we all good with great for a lever action 30-30? I feel like that's a good, fair place to put it. All right. Now on to the 357 Magnum revolver of whatever choice you want. Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Colt, whatever. A good full-size 357 revolver. I'll just be honest on this one. I'm definitely leaning towards great. I could be convinced. That it. Honestly, I started great, and honestly, you guys could convince me either way that it could be must-have, or it could even be dropped down to solid. My first instinct is to go great. Number 2 spot. Boom, done. That's my first instinct. But I want to see what you guys think. Look, 357 Magnum revolver's gonna fucking last a lifetime. The round hits like a motherfucker. You could use it for hunting if need be. You could absolutely use it for defense. These guns are extremely reliable. The ammo is very easy to find. You can shoot 2 different calibers out of it. You can shoot 38s in it if all you can stock up on, or in a bad situation, all you have access to is 38s. You can still shoot 38s through it. I would say it's definitely a great gun. I don't know that I'd put it as must-have. Let's see, what are you guys saying? So we got a 1 from 2 Live Moo. Mr. Scary says 1. Tomcat says 1. Patriot in the Dark says 1. Rudy says 1. Then we've got Old Man Butt Wrinkles and Dino say 2. So does 19 Kilo. And then Tactical Muffin Top says 3. That's more 1s than anything else. I mean, even if you count my original ranking for 2 of being just great, you guys still outvote me on that one. So I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you guys. It's a must-have. 357 Magnum revolver as a prepper. It's a must-have. You should have one in your collection. Okay. All right. We'll go with it there. All right. Now let's talk about the 4570 lever gun. My instinct on 4570 lever gun as a prepper gun is poo. I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved my 4570. Fantastic gun. Great for certain things, mainly large game. I would not want to use it as a defensive weapon. It's got very low capacity, very expensive to buy the gun, usually. Certainly very expensive to buy the ammo, and ammo is just not that common in most areas. I would say, not as just a gun. Look, the Marlin GBL that I had, fucking love that gun. Gun was cool as shit. However, as a prepper, it's not a must-have. It's not great. It's not solid. Meh, maybe. Poo. I think I lean towards. I think as a prepper gun, no. I think as a prepper gun, it's a clear no. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I could be convinced of either 4 or 5. So let's see. Scary says 4. Muffin Top says 5. Tomcat says 4. Butt Wrinkle says 4. Patriot in Dark says 4. Lead Lace didn't say anything. Just said 4570 is too expensive to stockpile. Dino says 4. Silverloin says 5. 2 Live Move says 6. So that defaults to 5. Lead Lace says 4. Kilo says 5. Rudy says 4. Electric Ninja says 4. Adam says meh. We're definitely leaning towards 4. You guys, 4 is overwhelmingly winning here. So we're going to put it at 4. It's meh. I honestly would have put it a little bit lower, but I'm defaulting to the votes. I'm defaulting to the votes here. So, all right, next up, we're talking about the AK pistol. Okay. Now, love AK pistols. I've owned AK pistols. I think they're absolutely fantastic and phenomenal. And as a defensive tool, especially in closer defensive distances. I think 100% they're a great tool to have. However, that's really all they're good at. They're not hunting weapons at all. I wouldn't want to use one to hunt. I'd rather hunt with a .357 Magnum revolver, honestly. And no, we're not just talking about Dracos. But just those in general. Let me just tell you, my default for an AK pistol is meh. That's my default, is meh. Love AKs, love AK pistols. As a prepper gun, I'm leaning towards meh. I don't think it's dog shit. I think it's a great defensive tool in closer quarters defensive situations. But that's really the only place that it really fits. And so it's not useless, but I don't think it's really any higher than that. So I'm going meh. I'm going meh. Let's see what we got. Button Wrinkle says 5. Patriot Dark says 2. Kilo says 2. Scary says 2. Ledley says 4. Tactical Muffin Top says 5. That's 2 5s, 1 4. We got 2 Live Moves says 5. Tomcat says 4. Silverloin says 4. Dino 5. Scary says, oh, pistol. Change my vote to 5. Okay. Rudy says 4. Leadlace says 4. Oh, he already says 4. I already counted his. Ninja says 3. Adam says 4. We're tied at 4 and 5. So my vote's going to override it, and we're going to go with 4. So 4 win. It's meh. It's meh. Mickey Peeps says meh. See? So there you go. It's meh. It's a meh gun. So far, nothing in the poo category yet. So far. We'll see. All right. Next, we've got AK rifle. AK rifle. For me, I think this is a must-have. I know a lot of people won't agree. I think we should all at least be able to agree that an AK rifle is at least great. Maybe you don't think it's a must-have because maybe you lean towards AR or whatever. I would say must-have, but I want to see what you guys say. So let's see. Old Man Butler says 2. Rudy says 1. Tomcat says 1. Ledley says 2. Patriot Dark says 1. Muffin Top says 2. Ninja says 1. Silverloin says 2. 19 Kilo says 2. 2 Live Moose is 1.5. No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Dino says 4. Nikki says 2. Scary says 2. With my vote, that ties us 6-6 between 1 and 2. So I need a tiebreaker here. Who hasn't gone yet? AK-47 pistol. Or excuse me, AK-47 pistol. AK-47 rifle. Is it a must-have or is it just great? That's what I want to know. Anthony Roberts says 1. That's the tiebreaker. So it's a must-have. There you go. AK pistol is a must-have. All right. Where are we at? AR pistol. An AR pistol. Oh, man, Bo Rickles is booing. There's either going to be 1 or 2. Come on. AR pistol. All right. I love AR pistols. I like AR pistols better than I like AK pistols. It's still a pistol, though. I can't, for me personally, I can't put it as a must-have. I would be willing to go with solid or great. That would be my vote. I want to see what you guys say. Because for me, it's not a must-have. When we get to the rifle, that may be a different conversation. But for AR pistol, I could go great. I lean towards solid. It's like right in the middle of the pack for a pistol. So, all right, let's see. Kilo says 1. Two Live Moose says 1. Muffin Top says 2. Anarchy says 1. Vader Dark drops it all the way to a 5. Old Silverloin says 2. Tomcat says 2. Nikki Peep says 2. Let's see. Scary says 3. Rudy says 3. Dino and Old Man Buntwrinkles are both saying 1. Rudy. Oh, yeah. Rudy dropped it to a 3. Pistol is a 3. Adam says 2. Anthony Roberts says 2. Okay, so 2. It got a 2. With my vote, it gets a 2. It's great, but it's not a must-have. All right. Okay. Now, can we just clear this one off the table? AR-15 rifle is a must-have. Do we need to debate this? Do we need to debate this? We don't need to debate this, do we? This is a 1, hands down. AR-15 is a 1. Yeah, see, there we go. Everybody's voting 1. All right, we knew this was going to happen. That was an easy one. Come on. That's an easy one. It was going to be a must-have. There's no getting around that. I'm sorry. If the AK is a number 1, the AR is a number 1. They're the 2 greatest defensive rifles on the planet. Both are great for defense, for offense, for hunting. Yeah, it's going to be a 1. We don't need to discuss that one any further. All right. Bolt action rifle. Now, this can be whatever caliber of your choosing, but just a good bolt action rifle, whatever caliber, whatever brand, whatever it is. I think this is another one. This is a must-have, right, guys? This is a must-have. A bolt-action rifle, just a good, solid bolt-action rifle. First of all, perfect for hunting and long-range defense. And, I mean, I'm not trying to fucking bring up bad shit that just happened, but we just saw what 2 dudes with a bolt-action rifle can do in Australia if you really fucking needed to. That was obviously awful, and fuck those guys. But I'm just saying. Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and a 3. Yeah, it's a 1. Okay, it's a must-have. Okay. I'm just saying. Boom. Dino says an AR can take game. How many guns are you carrying? I'm not saying you have to carry all these, but things you would want to own as a prepper. It doesn't mean you're going to carry all of them. But remember, plan A as a prepper, 9 times out of 10 is going to be to secure yourself in your home where all your shit is. You know what I mean? Now, if you go on the road, and you can only carry 1, long gun, 1 handgun, that's a whole different conversation. All right. So let's all right. Now we're moving on to something a little more interesting, a cap and ball revolver. Now, before we start voting, this is something that I've talked about for years. I know a lot of preppers who do the black powder stuff. For the simplicity of reloading and all kinds of stuff. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, it's not a must-have in my opinion. It's not great in my opinion. Honestly, I wouldn't even put it at solid. I would put the cap and ball revolver at meh, but I honestly could be convinced to go with poo. I could be convinced to go with poo. But I just right off the bat, I'd put it at meh. I like the idea of it. And, making your own powder if you need to, buying supplies, things like that. There are some advantages to it as a prepper in a truly end of the world scenario where you're having to make ammo, actually make ammo. But I could be convinced to go the poo route. So let's see what we're saying out there. Butt Wrinkles 5, Kilo 5, Anthony Roberts 5, Muffin Top 5, Lele's 5, Tomcat 5, Scary 4, Silver Loins 4, Ninja 5, Two Live Move 4, Dino 4, Rudy says 5. I mean, that's 8-4. Even with my vote, yeah, this ends up on poo. This ends up on poo. That's our first poo gun of the night. So there you go. All right. Let's move on to our Deagle. Can we just put this at poo? Can we just put the Deagle there? Is anybody going to vote for any higher than poo? It's a Deagle, right? Can we just get this over with? It's a 5, right? Please tell me y'all agree with me. I'm going to be very confused. Like, and it's not even that I don't like the gun, right? Like, you know, if they weren't expensive, I would own a Deagle. But, yeah, as a prepper gun, no way in hell. No way in hell. Okay, everybody's voting 5. All right, I got you. Okay, we don't need to keep going on this one. That's cool. Shocker says for the memes, it's a 1. Fucking hell. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah. All right, so now we get to our 3 pistols. Again, these are all representative. I've got the Glock 17, Glock 19, and Glock 26 as representation for full-size, compact, and subcompact handguns. Doesn't specifically have to be a Glock. I think probably, and I think a lot of people would agree in this type of situation, Glock's probably a really good choice. Not the only choice, but a really good choice. I would personally put the full-size Glock, or whatever your semi-automatic handgun of choice is, as a number 1, as a must-have. I think in a prepping situation, I'm not concerned with concealed carry or anything like that. For me, that's a solid number 1. Full-size handgun, absolute must-have. 100%, no exceptions. Absolute must-have. So you guys let me know what you're thinking out there. Let's see. Anthony Roberts says 1. We got Shocker says 2. Kilo says 1. Mr. Scary says all 3 of those are 1. Dino says 1. Patriot in the Dark says 1. 45 cap blocks. 1. Tomcat says 1. Rudy says 1. Silverloin says 2. Lele's has already given us all the votes for all 3 of them. He says 1. Butt Wrinkles 1. Two Live Move 1. Tackle Muffin Top 1. Yeah, okay. So it's a 1. Yes. Okay. We've established that. All right. Compact handgun. So slightly smaller than the full size. Slightly smaller than the full size. For me, slightly smaller than the full size is only great. In fact, I even could be convinced that it's only solid. Because slightly smaller doesn't really mean much. In a prepping, again, this is not a concealed carry, daily carry scenario, regular everyday life. We're talking as a prepper. Does slightly smaller than the full size, that is a must-have, really that useful? To me, I'll give it great, because, you know, if you're not going to have a full-size pistol, okay, it's a great secondary choice for that. However, if you're gonna have a full-size pistol, slightly smaller compact is not necessary. So let's see what you guys are saying out in the chat. We got Butt Wrinkle says 1, Kilo says 1, Muffin Top says 1, Robert says 1, Tomcat 1, Lead Lace 1, Shocker 2, Live Move 1, Patriot Dark 1, Rudy drops it all the way down to a 3, Silverloin says 1, Patriot Dark, he already said 1. It got a 1. Wouldn't be my choice. I would have put it at a 2 or a 3, but we're all coming together on this one. So we're good. All right. Now the subcompact. Same thing with the subcompact to me, except in my opinion, a subcompact is more useful than a compact, right? Like, it would be more must-have to me than a compact would. If we're establishing the full size, which we already did, the full size is a must-have. And the only time you would ever need anything smaller is when you're really trying to hide something. So a subcompact to me is more useful than a slightly compact gun. I think that's just my opinion. I think like a Glock 26 in this particular scenario where we've already established the full size as a must-have, the Glock 26 then becomes a much better backup gun and much more useful than a Glock 19. I'm just saying that would be mine. Honestly, if I were to rank these, the full size would be must-have. The subcompact would be great. And this Glock 19 right here would have only been solid if I had to rank them in 3 different places. But that's me. That's just me. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. All right, Shocker says 6. It doesn't go that far, so we'll default that to 5. Kilo says 1. Ledley says 3. Butt Wrinkle says 3. Robert says 3. Muffin Top says 3. Tomcat says 2. Corey says 6. We got Patron Dark with a 1. Rudy says 2. Anthony Robert says 1, 2, 3. We got Brian Ryan 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 got the most votes. Like right out the gate, I think 3 got the most votes. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we're tied between 1 and 3. That's what we're tied on. So I need a tiebreaker here between a 1 and a 3. Ah, there it is. Hypo. I was about to say hypno. Oh, motherfucker. Now 2 Live Mood. Y'all just tied it up again. Hypo Drake and 2 Live Mood just tied it up again. Okay, Shocker brought it down to a 3. Okay. We're going 3. Glock 26 is solid. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Remington 870. Now, keep in mind, I think a pump-action shotgun, whether it's a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500, is a must-have. I don't think both are necessarily must-haves, but for the sake of conversation, I'm just telling y'all, I'm just spoiler alert right now telling you that I'm going to put both of these as a must-have. Does anybody disagree with that? Do we have anybody that wouldn't put either the Remington 870 or the Mossberg 500 at a solid must-have? See, I'm seeing a bunch of ones. I do see a 2 in there. And Tomcat and Dino are dropping in 2s, but everybody else is dropping in 1s. We might as well just rank both of these at the same time. Yes. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Junior, Scary, 2 Live Moo, Butt Wrinkles, Kilo, Muffin Top, Rudy, Patron in the Dark, Roberts, Lead Lace, Old Silverloin, Hypodra. Yeah, everybody agrees. 1, 1. Yeah, Rudy says 1 and 1. Okay, both of these are going to number 1. Okay. Either one you go with, they're both must-haves. You don't need both of them, but depending on which one's your preference, you need at least one of them. All right, last one we've got here. Absolute last gun on the list of 19 guns. Again, these aren't all the guns. These are just the ones I picked. It's going to be just a good muzzle loader rifle. Again, I put this on the list the same reason I put the cap and ball gun on the list. However, you know what I mean? I would put it at a 4 or 5. I'm not going to be mad at either one of those two. So I want to see what you guys have to say. Muzzle loading rifle. I say 4 or 5. What do you guys say? All right, let's see what we got. Kilo says 5. We got Shocker says 4. Anthony Roberts says 5. Maxed Out says 3. Butt Wrinkle says 5. Tomcat 5. Taco Muffin Cup Top says 3. So does 2 Live Move. Patron of the Dark says 4. Silverloin says 4. Lead Lace says 6, which means 5. Scary and Rudy says 4. Okay. I think we're pretty close to tied up there. We've got a couple 3s in there. We got 3 3s, but for the most part, it's 4 or 5. Oh, there's one right there. Quigley says, Quigley wouldn't even shoot that crap. 4. Yeah, Hyper Drake. You know, I'm gonna give it a technically 4-1. 4 got more votes, so it's meh. It's meh. So basically, yeah. There you go. We're going to leave it at that. All right. So here's where we are at. Here's where we are at with our prepper gun tier list. At poo level, we've got a cap and ball revolver and a deagle. At meh level, we have a 22 revolver, a lever action 4570, an AK pistol, and a muzzle loading rifle. At solid, we've got the Browning Buckmark, or our stand-in for any good target 22 semi-automatic pistol, and the Glock 26, again, our stand-in for a good subcompact semi-automatic. At great, we've got a 30-30 lever gun, which also, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I would say could also be, I would say, a 357 lever gun would also be a good stand-in for this as well. Both would be great. An AR pistol, also great. And at the number 1 spot, or, well, in our top must-have spots, we have the Ruger 1022, also standing in for any other semi-automatic 22 rifle you might want to put in your collection. The Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, or again, it could be a Colt 357 Magnum. It could be a Ruger 357 Magnum, whatever your 357 Magnum of choice is, also considered a must-have. AK-47. When you absolutely, positively got to kill every motherfucker in the room, except no substitutes. Obviously a must-have gun. AR-15, we all agreed instantly, must-have gun. Good bolt-action rifle, must-have. Whether it's 308, 30-06, 270, 22, 250, whatever it is, whatever your personal brand and caliber of choice is, absolutely having a good bolt-action rifle is a must-have. Full-size pistol, of course, we're using the Glock 17 as the stand-in here, but a full-size pistol, we all agreed is a must-have. And of course, right next to that is the compact pistol, represented here by the Glock 19. I personally didn't think this was a must-have, but you guys did. You outvoted me, so it's on this list. And then lastly, and I'd say we call this one a draw, the Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870, the two goddamn best pump-action shotguns, or hell, just shotguns, period, that exist on the planet today. Both must have, absolutely must have firearms if you are a prepper. So that is it. We made it through this list of 19 guns. I think this is a decent list. I am sure that y'all could think of 100 other guns that we should have done this with. But I think in general, this is a good representation of the spectrum of all the different types of firearms that are out there and where they fall. I think this is pretty good. I don't 100% agree with everything. Like I said, I would have dropped that compact pistol a little bit lower. I might have bumped the 22 revolver up to solid next to the 22 semi-automatic. And then I might have bumped the subcompact pistol from solid up one level to great. But other than that, I think those are the only tweaks I may have personally made. But I like that we kind of came together and did this all as a group. It was fun. Right? Everybody had fun, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you did. You know you did. It was great. I need some water. I enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun. We should do this again. What's another ranking we can do collectively as a group? There's got to be something else we can talk about. We should do carry guns. That's a good one. We should do a carry gun trigger time where we do this same thing and just, put together our rankings for all the good carry guns that are out there on the market. I could probably get a lot more than 19 because there are a lot more than 19 carry guns that are solid. That's not a bad idea. Or calibers. Calibers would be good. But if you do calibers, you got to start breaking it up, like carry caliber, hunting caliber, that kind of thing. You got to kind of break it up. Oh, yeah. Out there talking about Old Man Barber says other SHTF necessities. That's a good one. Just general SHTF prepper items. Flashlights, pocket knives, fixed blade knives, stuff like that. IFAK, that kind of stuff. So, I like this. This was fun. This was a fun way to do a trigger time. I enjoyed this. We will definitely do this again. We'll come up with another tier ranking subject to go over, and we'll see if we can break it down. Sound good to everybody? Yeah? Dehydrated water packets. Just add water. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, ladies and or gentlemen, let's be honest, there's no ladies here. That pretty much wraps it up for today. That was our hour. Well, I mean, we were talking for a while before we started doing this, so it wasn't a whole hour, but that's pretty much our hour for tonight. May or may not be doing a chat tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet. Me and my wife are both off this weekend, so we're trying to get all our Christmas stuff done. As long as we're done, and if we're done and I'm home by like 7:00 tomorrow night, we'll do a chat tomorrow night. So hopefully we'll get to that, but I cannot guarantee that because we're like 5 days out from Christmas, and I still got Christmas shopping and stuff I got to do. So hopefully we'll get it wrapped up during the day tomorrow, and we'll be able to do a chat tomorrow night. So that is it. Thank you guys for coming along and hanging out. I had a fucking blast. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys have a great Christmas. Have fun with your families, your friends, whatever you fucking do. I don't know. Hope you guys have a great Christmas, and we will see you guys next time. As always, deuces, yo, shut up, pee in fridge, all that good shit, and we'll see you guys later. Take it easy, guys.